The 12 most expensive pets in the world. If you've ever had to buy dog food or take your cat to the vet, you know that pet expenses can add up quickly. Most pet owners would agree that their companionship and the joy they bring to people's lives make them well worth the cost. Owning a dog, for example, can cost anywhere from $1,500 to almost $10 grand a year in food, vet bills, and grooming fees. This is just for your run-of-the-mill pooch from the pet shop too. But if you think this is surprising, you're not going to believe the eye-popping price tags on the animals you're about to see, because today on the Animal Shelter, we will take a look at 12 pets that are reserved for the super rich. Number 12. Ayam Cemani Chicken. The Ayam Somani Chicken is by far the most gothic pet on this list, or some might say the classiest. That's because this bird is entirely black from beak to talon and everything in between. Even its meat, tongue, bones, and internal organs are black. This is all due to a rare dominant gene that was chosen through careful breeding between chickens of other colors. Its name comes from the Indonesian word for chicken, ayam, and the Javanese word Cemani, which means solid black or thoroughly black. Historically, these chickens had religious significance to the indigenous people who bred them, but today they're mostly popular as pets and status symbols. One Ayam Somani chicken will cost you about $2,000. Considering an ordinary adult chicken has a price of only about $30, the Ayam Somani stands out for more than just its color. Number 11. Toucan. Another costly feathered friend on this list is the toucan. The word toucan comes from the sound the bird makes, which some say sounds like the croaking of a frog. Toucans are tropical birds famous for their huge and colorful beaks. They're also extremely social, intelligent birds, curious about their environments, and they're highly playful to boot. It's easy to see why someone would want to own one as a pet. There are different species and breeds of toucans, so not all of them will run the same price tag. On the more expensive side, adult toucans can cost up to $8,000. With a lifespan of 20 to 25 years, many toucan owners would agree that it was a worthwhile investment. Number 10. Capuchin Monkey. Capuchin monkeys are cute primates hailing from Central and South America. Their names come from the Catholic order of Capuchin monks who wear religious black caps, somewhat similar to the black fur on Capuchin monkeys' heads. Capuchin monkeys are legal to own in many US states and other countries, but not all of them, and they are still a popular target for black market sales as well as international exotic pet scams. Any hopeful owner should be careful to get their Capuchin from a reputable breeder. They should also know that Capuchins are extremely active, intelligent, and easily bored animals that may act out aggressively if not properly stimulated. If an owner is ready to handle all of these obligations and obstacles, they can expect to pay up to $8,500 for one of these rare monkeys. Number 9. Camel. Camels are another exotic animal that have become popular pets worldwide. Modern camels are native to Africa and Asia. Humans have been raising domesticated camels for at least 3,000 years, but possibly even longer. Camels can live for 40 to 50 years in captivity, and they're perhaps most famous for being able to go long periods of time without drinking water, as long as 2 weeks, even in arid conditions. Like other animals on this list, the price of a camel can vary drastically depending on where it's being raised and sold, its breeding history, age, and any training it may have been given. You can expect to pay anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 for one camel. During the research for this video, one listing in Nebraska had an asking price of $12,500. Camels may be famous for their ability to store water, but being large animals, they still need to drink a lot of water on a regular basis. In thirsty conditions, a camel can drink up to 30 gallons of water in just 10 minutes. Any prospective camel owner is going to have one heck of a water bill. Number 8. Savannah Cat. The Savannah Cat is a very unique breed of cat, the result of breeding the African serval with a more common house cat. Savannah cats are a fairly recent breed that first appeared in the late 1980s. It wasn't officially registered as a distinct cat breed until 2001. Since the Savannah Cat is a crossbreed between a wild animal and a domestic pet, there are different degrees of breed pureness, with the most purebred animals being the most expensive. As a result, this breed can vary wildly in price. On the lower end, a Savannah Cat with the least amount of serval in it still costs a pretty penny, between $1,000 and $2,500. The most purebred Savannah cats, exactly 50% serval, can clock in at between $16,000 to $20,000 on the higher end. Don't forget to factor in the high cost of specialized food and frequent vet bills either. Number 7. Lavender Albino Ball Python. Some people like their pets small and furry, others prefer the feathered variety, and some others look for pets of the scaly kind. Despite how scary they can be in the wild, snakes are quite popular in the world of exotic pets. Take the ball python for example. An ordinary breed can cost up to $80, and while their food and home enclosure expenses can add up, they're still reasonably affordable as pets. But humans have a funny tendency to keep animals around simply because they look really cool. Enter the Lavender Albino Ball Python. It's similar to its cheaper cousin in every way except its coloration. The Lavender Albino Ball Python has a rare genetic mutation that gives it a pale lavender base color with yellow markings and striking red eyes. If you want to bring one of these rare reptiles home, it'll most likely cost you upwards of $40,000. They do look pretty neat though, don't they? Number 6. Chimpanzee. Did you know that humans are closer genetically to chimpanzees than chimps are to gorillas? It's no wonder then that these great apes are so smart. Chimpanzees are highly intelligent animals which can make them very entertaining as pets in some parts of the world. A word of warning though, it's illegal to have a chimp as a pet in many places, so be sure to check your locality's laws on pet ownership before you get too excited. If you do live in a place that lets you have a chimp as a pet, you can expect to pay between $50,000 to $60,000 for one chimp. You can also expect them to live between 30 and 40 years. They're no supermarket goldfish, that's for sure. Number 5. Arabian Horse. The Arabian horse is a horse breed that first appeared on, you guessed it, the Arabian Peninsula, a geographic region that comprises Arab countries in the Middle East. Arabian horses are among the most popular horse breeds in the entire world, and they're also one of the oldest breeds, between 3,000 and 5,000 years old in fact. Their lasting popularity can be attributed to their intelligent but gentle demeanor, their unique head and body shape, and their versatility as a horse breed. Famous people throughout history have ridden Arabian horses, including George Washington, Napoleon, Genghis Khan, and even Alexander the Great. With a resume like that, these beauties can cost a pretty penny. Average costs hover around $30,000, with the pricier ones selling for over $100,000. Giddy up! Number 4. White Lion Cub. Humans have had a fascination with lions since time immemorial, and they've made popular exotic pets for a long time too. Lions are illegal to own in many localities, and even when they are legal, special permits are required to own them. In terms of pets, lions are already on the pricey side, ranging from just over $1,000 to over $10,000 in price. That price goes through the roof for white lion cubs. Contrary to popular belief, white lions are not actually albino, but their coloration is a result of a similar genetic mutation. Ever since this mutation emerged, white lions have been specifically bred for their uniquely pale coat. The gene is recessive and incredibly rare, so white lion cubs are priced accordingly. If you'd like to buy one, you should be prepared to spend as much as $130,000 or more. Number 3. Cloned Dog. Pets can be such an important part of our daily lives that when they sadly pass away, it can be difficult to say goodbye. Some people deal with this heartache with a little time to grieve and later adopting a new pet to bring home and shower with love. Others take a more existential approach by cloning their deceased pet, almost bringing them back to life in a way. It first appeared as a service available to the general public in the 2000s, and it has major appeal to some people. In fact, one couple paid $155,000 for the chance to raise their pooch all over again. When Edgar and Nina Otto sadly lost their beloved yellow Labrador named Sir Lancelot to cancer, they were distraught. A cloning service was able to bring his genes back into a new dog that they fittingly named Sir Lancelot Encore. Mr. Otto's father was a co-founder of NASCAR, so Edgar was understandably wealthy and not averse to paying such a hefty price while the cloning service was still in its infancy. Nowadays though, the cost has gone down considerably, but it's still more than most can typically afford at around $50,000. Number 2. Tibetan Mastiff. Even among man's best friend, there's plenty of variation in the cost of different dog breeds. While you can adopt a mixed breed from a local shelter for a small rehoming fee, purebreds are always going to cost extra, and the Tibetan Mastiff is no exception. The Tibetan Mastiff was originally bred in China as a guard dog to protect flocks in the Himalayas, as well as to keep watch over Tibetan monasteries. It's a huge animal that can weigh up to 160 pounds. And if you think your lapdog sheds a lot, you'd better have the brush and vacuum ready for this furry behemoth. A Tibetan Mastiff with a good breeding history will typically be priced between $1,800 to $4,500, at an average of about $2,500. Pretty pricey, but not too crazy, right? That is except for one very special dog of this breed that sold for a whopping $1.9 million to a wealthy Chinese businessman. The property developer who bought him from a famous dog breeder said this particular line of Tibetan Mastiffs had lion's blood, and this breed is also rapidly becoming a status symbol for elite buyers in China. If he had that much to shell out on a pup, then that particular Tibetan Mastiff probably enjoyed a life of luxury with its new owner. Number 1. Green Monkey. Before you get too excited about the thought of an emerald-colored primate, Green Monkey is actually neither of those things. It's the name of a thoroughbred American racehorse and the most expensive pet on our list. Green Monkey was sired by another famous thoroughbred horse, Forestry, but Green Monkey has gone on to achieve fame in his own right. Green Monkey stirred up a lot of popularity after he was able to run an eighth of a mile in just 9.8 seconds. Sadly, the horse later sustained an injury that would prevent him from ever replicating that time again. That didn't matter to interested buyers though. Green Monkey instantly became a sensation that would fetch a hefty price at auction. His owners were cautiously optimistic about receiving $3 or $4 million for this prize pony, but they were blown away when the winning bid hit a whopping $16 million. That's more money than most people will ever see in their entire lives, all for one very special horse. There you have the most expensive pets in the world. Which one surprised you the most? Did any of the prices strike you as outrageous? Were there any entries on this list that have you thinking about saving up some money for an exotic pet purchase? Let us know in the comments. Please leave a like to support the channel and be sure to subscribe for more exciting animal videos.